So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is code our win screen. This is going to be a little bit weird, but there is a reason for why we're creating the code this way. So to start off with, we're going to go ahead and go to our yellow events tab. We're going to add a when I receive green flag. And then we're going to go into looks and we're going to go ahead and hide it. This is to make sure that when we start our game, we're not able to see it. Then we're going to add a go to front layer and go forward 100 layers. This is to make sure that it's all the way at the top and we're able to see it through the backdrop and that nothing is covering it, just in case, because like I said, this will stop the game exactly where it is once you reach the score that you need. And if there's, for example, maybe an alien behind it, it's easy for it to be on top of it. So this is just to make sure that it's completely on top of everything, so nothing will be covering it. Once we have that, we're going to go ahead and go to the control and add a forever. This is going to forever check for something to know whether or not we've met the conditions in order to win. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a second. So we're going to add an if then. So if this is correct, so this is going to be our condition. So if whatever is in here is correct, then do whatever is inside of this bracket. So inside of this if, we're going to go into operators and we're going to see when something is equal to something. And specifically, we're going to be using our score. So if we go to our variable, we're going to use our score bubble. And this is where we'll get to pick when we want the win screen to show up. So this is up to you guys. So if you want it to show up quicker, then you use less of a number. If you want to make it show up a little bit through a longer period of time, then you can go ahead and make this as high as possible. So for example, I'll do 100. So once my player reaches a score of 100, they've won the game. So if this is true, so when our score is equal to 100, then what I want to do is, inside of this bracket, I'm just going to go inside of looks and add a show because we want it to show up. The next thing that we want to do is we want to reset our score back to 0. So we're going to go into variable, add a set score to 0. And now the last thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that nothing is able to run or play when we've reached our winning score. So in order to do this, we're just going to go ahead and click on our player sprite and we're going to find a little area where we can add this. We're going to go into the yellow events tab and we're going to add when I receive green flag. We're going to change this by clicking on the green flag and adding a new message, and we're going to type in win. So when I receive win, what do I want to do? I want to stop this sprite from running, so I'm going to go into control, go to stop all, and change the all to other scripts and sprite. Once I have this, however, I need to add it into all places that constantly moves. So I'll add one to my alien by clicking, holding, and dragging it to the alien sprite. Okay. And I'm going to add it to all my aliens. I'm also going to add it to the shooting so that I'm not able to shoot. I'm going to add it to the score number as well. This is to make sure that my score number isn't able to go up anymore. Okay. This last part is kind of up to you. So our backdrop is always constantly moving. So if you want to still have the effect of the stars coming down, you can leave it as it is. If you don't want that to happen and you just want it to be a static image or basically an image that doesn't move and it's flat, then you'll want to add another when I receive win onto the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it here. And always a good thing to do is to check your work. So we're going to go into the alien sprite. I see that I have the sprite here. I'm going to go to my other one, have it. my shooting has it, my score number has it, and my high score number has it. Alright, so now that we've added it everywhere where it needs to be, the next thing that we're going to do is go back to the win screen, and underneath the set score to 0, we're going to go inside of the yellow events tab, and we're going to broadcast and change the green flag to win. So now when we've also won, we're also going to stop the game from running. So here's the thing. The reason why this may work 50% of the time is because you might have some of your creatures showing up around the same time. And if, for example, I'm at 99 and I just need to destroy one more alien in order to win, and let's say I accidentally destroy, let's say, maybe an alien that has a score of 2, or I shoot 1 but I end up destroying 2 at the same time, now my score jumps higher than 100. So in order to make sure that we're able to catch it, the next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to duplicate this if, and we're going to put it right at the bottom. We're going to take out our score and remove this equals to 100. We're going to go into operators and use the greater than symbol and add this to the score. And now we're going to do, let's say, greater than 100. So if my score is greater than 100, then I'm also going to show this. So if it works out that our score is exactly 100 and that's when we win, then that's perfect. In the off chance that the score hikes up higher than 100 and then it won't be able to run this block, we have this one as a nice little net to catch anything that might not work for us. So that's why we're doing it this way. This first one is the exact one where we do want our score to stop the player from playing the game and show the win screen. And then the second one is on the off chance that it doesn't work, and it's a little bit greater than that, it will still catch it and we'll still be able to run the code that we want. So as always, it's always good to test out your code to make sure that everything is working. Obviously, trying to reach a score of 100 might be a little bit too high, so you might want to use a very low number just to make sure that it shows up, maybe a 2 or a 3. And you just have to change it for both of them, and that way you can test it out, and once you see that it's working, then you can change it back to the score that you actually want. That way you've tested it out, make sure that it works, and then you put the number that you actually want for your win screen. So once you guys are all set, the win screen will be completed at this point.